It's always the Democrats that with blue hair and they're overweight that are always in everybody's city. Also,
okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Hold on.
Just calling in. Your number one caller voted by PTL the last 3 years running. So I wanted to check in on a couple things.
Okay.
One, like Bill Maher said, everything can't be for Democrats a total outrage and the end of democracy. I am actually shocked. You're a pretty compassionate guy. For you to advocate adult males going out and harassing a young girl on the golf course and holding up signs and berating her and belittling just a young girl golfer. It's just
no, it's not. No. It's not just It's not. Hold on. It's not just a young girl golfer. So don't you characterize it as a young? No. It's not. It's not. Why don't you listen now? It's not just a young girl golfer. It's somebody who is taking advantage of who her last name is and Donald Trump, profiting off of her grandfather being the president of the United States and taking a spot away from somebody that is far more deserving. I'm not saying break the law. Let me be very clear on that. Nothing I said was advocating breaking the law. I said, why don't you go to the LPGA event and hold up a sign that said your father is an adjudicated abuser? Why don't you hold up a sign that calls her a grifter? That is within your First Amendment. Excuse me. That is within your First Amendment right to do so. And why don't you admit? Yes, it is. Is it right for her to be playing in that tournament? Let's start there. Is that right, sir?
Yes,
it is.
I'll tell you what.
Okay, well then you're an imbecile. You're an imbecile.
Golf Magazine said the reason you have exemptions is to get star power to an outing that no one would normally watch. So now with her being there versus
not true.
You take some no-name golfer, you're going to add revenue. You're going to get more eyeballs.
So that's what it's about. Okay, so let me ask you a question. If that was the case, then why don't we just have Melania Trump playing in an LPGA event? If that's the case, why don't we just have? Okay, so as long as you're a golfer. Okay, so let me get this right. So long as you're a golfer, just a golfer, and you have hold on, so you got to let me finish the question.
All right.
So by your standard, so long as you're a quote unquote golfer and a big name, you're okay with any sponsor exemption. Is that what you're saying?
So, well, Tony Romo did it. Is he good? Is that good? He's
Tony,
not.
Excuse me. First of all, what PGA event did Tony Romo play in?
He plays in a lot of. He's played in.
Name me a PGA Tour event. I don't
know off the top of my head.
You know why? Because it's a celebrity tournament, dumbass. He didn't get a spot. He didn't get a sponsor. Tony Romo didn't get a sponsor.
Pod him down.
No, I'll pod you down. I'll pod you down. Why is it that you can't admit that Kaya Trump playing in this event is wrong? Do you think Donald Trump should be getting a sponsor's exemption to play in a PGA event? Name me the event. Name me the event. Name me the PGA. Hey, dummy, name me the PGA Tour event that Tony Romo got a sponsor's exemption to. What a shocker. You don't, because you have no idea what you're talking about. That's why. Why don't you admit that?
Would you say the PGA tournament is taking advantage of her?
Why don't you? Do you know that you don't even know? You don't even know the difference between a celebrity Pro-Am event and a PGA Tour sanctioned event. That's how stupid you are. So you have no idea what you're talking about. And by the way, the idea that the 78th ranked junior female amateur should get a sponsor's exemption, and you're totally okay with that because her last name is Donald Trump makes you an imbecile. Does that mean that Donald Trump should be playing in the Masters? Yes or no? He's a golfer. He's got star power. Should Donald Trump be getting exemptions into PGA Tour events?
You can't
yes or no?
Arbitrarily pick any play. Of course not.
Okay, so Donald Trump can't. You just said on this show that as long as you have play golf. Wait, you just said no. I'm getting worked up because you're an imbecile and you don't know what you're talking about. You just said if you're a golfer and you have star power. So I want to know what your barometer is. How good of a golfer do you have to be?
So let me ask you this.
No, don't ask me anything. Answer my question first. Where is your barometer? If you're a golfer and you have star power, how good of a golfer should you be, sir? Should you be a professional or an amateur?
Well, you could be an amateur.
Okay, so why would Donald Trump? So why should Donald Trump not be invited to play in a PGA Tour event? Why should he not get a spot? By your standard, he's a golfer and he's got star power. So why do you say no to Donald Trump?
if a sponsor wants to say, listen, I'm going to spend my money and get you in a tournament, the tournament agrees, I guess that's okay.
Okay, so anybody,
but
as long as
advantage of her. No one would watch this
Brad
event
Pitt,
if it wasn't for her.
George Clooney plays golf. Should he get a sponsor's exemption to play in a PGA Tour event?
If a sponsor thought it was good for them, it's
okay. Well, you're an idiot.
It's not against the law. You can do that.
I never said it's against the law, but you're an imbecile. That's not how professional golf works.
Golf tournament's going to get more viewership now than if they had some random person.
You don't give somebody a sponsor's exemption for the only reason being it's going to draw people to a tournament. That's not why they do it.
That's why tournaments do it.
That's not the only reason. If it was, then they would give 50. Then why don't we just call it the celebrity tour then? It's called the Professional Golf Association. Do you not understand that? It's called the Professional Golf Association, and you have no idea what you're talking about. She's not even a professional. She's the 74th ranked amateur. That's not even close to being a professional.
You don't have to be a professional to be on tour.
You don't have to be a professional to be on tour. Okay, so what is your guideline then? The only guidelines that you've given me is that you play golf and you're star power. Give me. Are those your only guidelines? Because if they are, then that makes you an imbecile.
Well, you just
give me some other guidelines. I'm waiting. What should your handicap be?
Of course.
Listen, I understand you need to get a sponsor, but I'm asking you, what are the guidelines besides playing golf, whatever that means, and having star power? Okay? If Kai Trump was walking down the street on Las Vegas Boulevard and wasn't decked out in her stupid Trump memorabilia, nobody would recognize her. Maybe you would because you're a sicko fan Trump. Okay, so stop it with the star power crap, okay? I can't imagine that 1,000 tickets are going to be sold because some idiot named Kai Trump is playing in an LPGA event that probably won't even break 90. Okay, so stop it with the star power, and she's going to sell thousands of tickets, okay? She's not Caitlin Clark, okay, dummy? Nobody cares, all right? Maybe there's a couple psycho fans like you.
More people.
Oh, really? You think
with
thousands?
Blue hair going up there yelling at her.
Yeah, okay.
Trying to play
what does blue hair have to do with anything? Why would you bring that up, sir?
It's always the Democrats that with blue hair and they're overweight that are always in everybody's city. Also,
okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Hold on. It's always the people. Let's go with that statement, okay? It's always the people with blue hair that are overweight. Does Donald Trump have blue hair? Is Donald Trump overweight?
I would say so.
I would say so. Okay, so they're not always people with blue hair. Did anybody with blue hair storm the Capitol on January 6th? Because there were a lot of obese people that were there. Did anybody with blue hair storm the Capitol on January 6th and beat police officers with their own batons? Because you said it's always blue, people with blue hair. Were those people with blue hair? Answer my question. Were those people with blue hair on January 6th those who beat police officers with their own batons? Because you said it was always blue people with blue hair. Yes or no? Answer the question. Yes or no? Answer the question. Yes or no?
Trouble.
No, you're going to answer my question, but you have no idea what you're talking about. Were those people with blue hair on January 6th? Yes or no?
On that one particular day, no.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. On that one particular day, you're right, where we had at least 1,500 people that stormed the Capitol, half of them violent criminals, and hundreds of thousands of people. Let's ask you another question, sir. The No Kings rallies, where we had 10 million. Let me ask my question. Pod you down, sir, because you're not smarter than me. We had 10 million people plus at the No Kings rallies. Some of those people had blue hair. How many of those people committed crime, sir, out of those 10 million people? Can you tell me?
I would imagine there's been some.
No. You're imagining. You're imagining. No. I didn't ask you to imagine, dummy. I said, how many of those people, if you don't know the answer, don't imagine. Tell me you don't know. I know it's really hard to do that for you, sir. I'm going to ask it again. Since you said no. Stop talking. You had an opportunity to answer the question, and you responded by saying, "I would imagine." So I'm going to ask it again. You're not John Lennon, sir. Okay, you're not imagining anything. Okay, it's yes or no and a number. If you do know, because I would. You're the one who said people with blue hair always seem to blah 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 blah. Okay, of the 10 million people that were protesting during the No Kings protest a few weeks ago, how many of those people or people with blue hair were arrested for committing crimes? Can you answer that? If you don't know, I'll give you the answer. Wrong. The answer is 0. There were 22 people across the country that were arrested. Here's something for you, sir. Those 22 people probably look like you. They were middle-aged white Trump supporters. They were not people with blue hair. They were not liberals. They were not Democrats. There was nobody with blue hair that beat police officers with their own batons that stormed the Capitol. The guy didn't have blue hair that was a Trump supporter who went into a church a few weeks ago and executed people. It was a Trump supporter, a middle-aged, obese man that probably looks like you. So don't you give me this nonsense that all these people with blue hair. No, I'm not going to let you do anything. All these people. No, you're not going to tell me anything. You're going to listen, and I'm going to educate your sorry, stupid ass. Okay? These aren't people with blue hair. Yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. I will pod you down. You're an idiot, and you don't know what you're talking about. The overwhelming majority of people that are committing these mass shootings all across the country are people that look like you, obese white people or younger white people. These are not people with blue hair. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. And you're damn right, and I stand by what I say. If there's 1,000 people, I guarantee you they won't even sell 1,000 tickets to see Kai Trump shoot a 95 on the golf course. You'd have to pay me to see that. That'd be torture. But guess what? If 1,000 people with blue hair go there with signs that say, Kai Trump, you're a DEI golfer, I would totally endorse that. What do you think about that, buddy?
That's horrible.
Oh, it's horrible. Was it horrible what happened on January 6th? Was that horrible?
Apples to oranges.
No. Answer my question. Was it horrible? Answer my question. Was it horrible what happened on January 6th? Yes or no?
Of course.
Then why did
Everybody knows.
Okay, so would you say it's just as horrible to be holding up a sign, your First Amendment right, saying, Kai, you're a DEI hire? Is that just as horrible? Or are there levels of horrible for you?
I mean,
answer the question. Is it just as horrible?
That's okay.
Is it just as horrible?
Actually.
Is it against the law? Answer the question.
No.
Okay, so you could think something is horrible. I tend to think it's more horrible when you beat police officers with their own batons. I tend to think it's more horrible when people break the law. I tend to think it's more horrible when you're an adjudicated abuser, which is Donald Trump. I don't think it's horrible.
Yeah, but I don't know advocating for older men to go harass a young
First of
girl.
all, I don't think that's harassment. It's your First Amendment right to hold up a sign. That's number one. You're not breaking the law. Number two,
you're not allowed to yell during backswing.
Okay.
That's against the rules of golf.
Yeah, it's against etiquette.
And you know that.
Excuse me. I do know
You'll
that.
Get thrown out
Excuse me. I do know that. But guess what? Yelling on a backswing.
You'll get thrown out.
Excuse me. Yelling on a backswing is not against the law. It might be bad etiquette, but let's go with that for a moment. You don't like people that
get thrown out of the court.
Hey, you don't like people that show bad etiquette. You use the term horrible. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's good etiquette to attack Gold Star families and people of color and saying, I don't respect John McCain because he was captured? Do you think it's good etiquette to sell Bibles? Do you think it's good? I'm not done yet. Let me finish. I never said it was against the law. By the way, Donald Trump is breaking the law right now as we speak. I can get into that if you'd like, sir. But, sir, you talked about etiquette and it bothers you. If somebody on their backswing, somebody yells, then why would you vote for the guy who talks about grabbing women by the genitals if you care so much about etiquette? Please answer that question, sir.
Because
what's the matter?
Right.
You got a Joe Biden stutter, sir?
You're allowed to do it.
Sir,
Trump said
people,
that, so now you're allowed to harass
there is
granddaughter.
Excuse me, sir. There's a higher standard, I think, to somebody who is the president of the United States than somebody who goes to a golf course holding up a sign. So I will now ask you again.
But it's a young kid.
Sir? So you care about... Okay, so if you
thing.
do something bad to a young kid, that's okay. So let's go with that for a moment.
If you punch a young 14-year-old, it's not the same.
Where did I condone punching a child?
I'm just giving you an example.
Well, that's a really bad example because that's irrelevant to the conversation. So you think okay, I need you to listen. Calm down. I need you to listen. Calm down. You're very upset that I'm condoning someone that you would say is bad golf etiquette to scream on Kai Trump's backswing, which, by the way, I would totally endorse, and I'm totally comfortable with that. You're so upset at that, and you call it horrible, yet you decided to vote for the guy who talks about grabbing women by the genitals, who literally went into teenage girls' locker room pageant dressing rooms without their permission. But you have no problem voting for the leader of the free world, but you're going to hold your anger to some regular person on a golf course who uses their First Amendment right, or somebody that yells during a backswing. Sir, do you see where I'm going with this? You have zero credibility. Zero.
Well, now you said she's just a regular person. I thought it was a
hey, dummy, I'm talking about a regular person. No? I'm talking about a regular person who held up a sign. I know it's very difficult for you to follow a conversation. So let me repeat with what I said earlier. Kai Trump has no business being in that golf tournament. The only reason why she's playing there is because of her last name, not because of her abilities or because of anything she's done in her life other than selling her stupid Kai Trump gear. She's done nothing in her life that deserves her to be in that golf tournament. She's not even a good golfer. She probably won't even break 90, I guarantee you. And you have a problem with me saying that I hope somebody yells during her backswing because you want proper golf etiquette, yet you voted for the guy who claims he's won the club championship every single year. We've seen video of him cheating, but you don't have a problem with that. Or Donald Trump talking about grabbing women by the genitals, or Donald Trump going after Gold Star families or POWs, or calling brave men and women in uniform suckers and losers. But yet you want to preach to me about golf etiquette? Screw you. Screw you and your hypocritical BS. You're a moron, sir. That's what you are. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? You got a Joe Biden stutter, sir?
I dozed off 5 minutes ago. You just keep going over and over. But yeah, so if Donald Trump says one thing, that means it's okay to do A plus B.
Did I just mention? First of all, did I just mention one thing? First of all, I did not mention one thing. Second of all, holding up a sign would not be considered by many as harassing. Harassing somebody is harassment is a crime. You don't seem to understand that. You see, harassment can be defined as a crime in every state in this country. Holding up a sign, which would be
Brian, excuse me, you can't bring harassment to PGA
is harassment a crime? Yes or no?
Harassment, yes. It can be a crime.
Thank you. We finally agree on something. Is holding up a sign harassment? Well, if you're at least 6 feet away from somebody, is holding up a sign harassment?
I guess it depends.
Yeah. It's not. Have a nice day, jackass.